Yeah, once again, I'd like to thank Corey. And next up, I'd like to introduce Andy Jones from the Advanced Light Source Users Office, who will walk us through the process of becoming a user and setting up proposals for beamtime. Andy, it's all yours.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. Hello, everybody. I am Andy Jones, also known as Andrea Jones. I'm at the ALS User Office as the Proposal and Publications Coordinator. I am your primary point of contact for submitting proposals and getting beamtime. In materials after this webinar, you'll receive a link to this page, Procedures for New ALS Structural Biology Users. This is an abbreviated form of our user guide, but it's kind of geared towards structural biology users to make things a little bit easier for you. Our user guide with all the information is on our ALS webpage. If you go to als@lbl.gov, you'll see this menu here for users. We get lots of information, including our user guide. So this is the full user guide where you can get all the details and more information if you don't have enough in that small guide. So the first thing you want to do to become a user is to create an account in our ALS Hub user portal. And we have a link here. And we have a link at the top of our user guide and a link at the top of our page. This is a screenshot of what it will look like when you go. I'm already logged in. So this is a screenshot of what it'll look like when you need to log in. So how you create an account is you log in with either ORCID or Uncommon and then give us your contact information, set up a profile. So everyone needs to authenticate their ORCID ID with us. So we suggest you log in with ORCID. It's the easiest way to do it. Some people prefer to log in with Uncommon. Uncommon is a service that we're about 1,000 or so institutions, including many research institutions and universities. You can use this to log in with your home institution's credentials if your institution is part of Uncommon. You might choose to do that. You will have to authenticate your ORCID ID with us at least one time, though. So be prepared when you create an account to log into your ORCID account. Staff members with lbl.gov email addresses can use this. When you log in with ORCID or Uncommon, you will encounter this page, this profile selection page. You must fill this out and submit it in order to complete your profile. If you're going to submit a proposal Sunday, you're not sure if you're going to submit a proposal, you can create your account today. Create it today, and then it'll be all set up for you if you're ever going to apply for beamtime. So when you get this question, what's your next interaction with the ALS? You can choose submit a proposal, which doesn't mean you're submitting one now. You can choose conduct remote experiments or create a profile. Any of these will give you a similar profile form that will set you up to become a user for remote experiments and to be able to submit proposals. You click next and you're given a profile form. You fill out your contact information. If you logged in with Uncommon, you'll have to link to your ORCID account to get that authenticated. Give us some demographic and other information about your experiment. Click next at the bottom to review the form, and then click submit. And after you click submit, you should get an email confirmation right away that you've created a profile. And then within a couple days, our user processors will send you another confirmation when your account has been fully processed. Okay, the next thing you want to do is submit a proposal. I only talk about rapid proposals here, but I want to briefly talk about our two types of proposals. If you go to our user guide, apply for beamtime number 2 will give you information. Jay had mentioned there's general user proposals. These are good general user proposals. You can apply for beamtime on up to 3 beamlines. And you first apply for a 6-month cycle. It goes through review. And then after the review, you get beamtime that cycle or not. Usually, most structural biology users will. And then you can request beamtime for up to 3 more 6-month cycles. So this is a good proposal to use if you know you're going to be a user for a while. You can get beamtime on 3 beamlines for up to 2 years. So until we go dark for our upgrade. So the next deadline is the first Wednesday in September, September 6th. To request beamtime for 2024, the first half of 2024. Now, many of you are like, I don't want to wait till 2024 to get beamtime, but you can submit a rapid proposal. Rapid proposals can be submitted anytime we have beam. Remember, we're shut down in the winter, January, February, and July, August. But when we have beam, you can submit a rapid proposal anytime. You can request time on 1 beamline for 1 6-month cycle. Greg Hura mentioned 1 year, but it's really a 1 6-month cycle. We just need some basic information about your experiment, a one-page description of the scientific case. What's the scientific question you're asking? Give us some details about your experiments. Rapid reviewers like to know, do you have crystals on hand? Are you ready to go? The review process takes about 1 to 2 weeks. It's fairly quick. And then if you're allocated beam time, or you can contact the beamlines and discuss scheduling of your proposal. For general user proposals and rapid proposals, if you're not sure which beamline you want to apply to, select beamline ALS-ENABLE, and the ALS-ENABLE beamline scientist here will assign your proposal to the appropriate beamline. You can also request collaborative crystallography that Banu talked about. Okay, so your allocated beam time, we will check and make sure that we have a user agreement with your institution. Now, safety documents. Every experiment needs an experiment safety assessment form. Some of the ALS-enabled beamlines are nice and will submit safety forms for you. But sometimes you're asked to submit your own safety forms describing your materials, your samples for the safety review. The ALS user office prefers that users do this themselves, but some of the beamlines prefer to do this. So you may be asked to submit an experiment safety assessment form. If so, you will receive an email with instructions on how to do so. You get there from ALS Hub. When you log into ALS Hub, all the links to submit proposals and complete experiment safety documents and things are all here. Now, most structural biology users conduct their experiments remotely. Mark Allaire showed you some great software to conduct your experiments remotely, but some users do come on site. If you come on site, you do have to register an ALS Hub. You have to log into your ALS Hub account and tell us when you're coming so we can get you through the vetting and badging process. If you come on site, be sure to go to our user guide, and there's a link there in that one-page document. Here, sorry, to number 5 in our user guide, get access to work on site. If you're a US citizen, you need to tell us at least 3 weeks before you come. And if you're a non-US citizen, we need 6 weeks notice before you come. How you tell us you're coming is you log into ALS Hub, and where it says arrival timeline, you click update here to tell us when you're coming, or you click update your profile to tell us when you're coming on site, or you click profile and say you're going to conduct on-site experiments. All of those ways will bring you to the same form where you give us your arrival date and estimated time of arrival and some other information that we need to know to process you to get your badge. You might want to come a business day or so before your experiments to get badged, just so when your experiment starts, the next day you're ready to go. Talk with the beamline scientist if that's appropriate for you or not. If you do come on site, you'll need to do some safety training. This tells you about all the safety training you need. You go to ALS Hub, to the homepage, to actually do your safety training, complete online safety training. There's also other resources available to you. The lab has a guest house, a hotel where you can stay. There's also food resources, lactation rooms, and all those things. You can find this out at available resources. After your beam time, we'll email you to complete a user satisfaction survey, whether it was remote or on site. We also ask that you report all your publications to us and acknowledge the ALS. And so if you click here and go to our publication menu, the appropriate acknowledgement statement for ALS-ENABLE to include in your publication is right here on the website. To report publications, just click here, put in the DOI, hit continue, put the beamlines that you used, your funding sources, and you are all set to go. And I think that is it. Once again, you will get a copy of this after this webinar, and you can always find our user guide on the ALS webpage. And under users, if you go to user services office, I am Andrea Jones, the proposal coordinator. You can find my contact information here to ask me questions anytime.